Welcome back. Well, the budget 2017, the delayed passage while we await executive assent is what we're talking about. Mr. Dagunro, some countries adopt the multi-year budgeting system. We've had challenges, delays in the 2016 budget, the 2017 budget, slight delay, we are still waiting for it to be assented. Is that an avenue that the government of the day can be looking toward to stop such a recurrence in future?
Yes, definitely. Like I said, this is an evolution, not, where it takes time when something is evolving. And I want to believe that most of the people out there, let me just, I have not spoken to any one of them. I think majority of the people want to say, yes, it is during our time that we've been able to achieve it. Everybody has to come to the ranch and say, we want to achieve it. And I want to believe gradually we'll get to the point whereby we don't need to, mess around with time and mess around with figures, and we just have to go ahead and do the right thing for the people of this country. And, election is coming. Very soon you even have state elections here and there, and people are watching. It is not like before. And now that's why I'm saying that, just like what Prof is saying, you have to understand that this education issue, the states have a stake in it. The local government, they have a stake in it. And what are they doing? We should be asking those people, because they have their budgets as well. They have counterpart funding they have to put into this before UBEC could give them the money. They are taking loans locally and internationally as well. So when we are looking at all these, there are fundamentals we have to begin to look at, not just the federal alone. You have the state primary schools, you have some areas whereby the primary school are just a mess. So we have to begin to challenge the state governors as well, challenge the chairman of the local government or chairperson of the local government. So we can't just pass it on to just the federal government alone. And look at our roads as well. There are roads that local governments have to maintain, the state governments have to maintain. I'm not saying that the federal government is doing enough, but most times we take everything to Abuja and say, look, Abuja has to do all this. But we have to begin at the local level to challenge some of those people who have chosen to govern us as well. And like I said, this can change. Some of the people you see in the Senate today might not be there tomorrow again. Because people will say, look, what have you done? And people want to make sure that they want to go back to their constituency and say, look, I've done this, I was part of this, I want to do more. So it is not just a simple thing like we are seeing it before. We have seen a lot of that, and I think the people themselves would drive this country. The Nigerians will drive the boat of this country, and they will give direction. The thing is, when we have a president that is committed, I want to see this as a commitment to do something, and he has a team. Whether all of them in the team are truly committed, it's a different ball game. But these president is committed to deliver. And when you are committed to deliver in any part of this war, there will be challenges. We have to see more about the war on corruption. You see, look at what happened in South Korea. Like you said, the president of South Korea, she was involved in a scandalous thing, and off she goes. So now you have a new one. So these are the things we have to really work towards and say, look, if you mess around, we should be able to tell you to go, and you go. And that is what Nigerians should be looking at. It is transparency. We need more transparency in our government, from the local government to the federal level. So we need transparency even in all this ministry. And if you look at it, they see that they challenge the head of service the other time. Why do you keep a permanent secretary that is not supposed to be there? Why do you keep him or her there? I think she's a woman. Why do you keep that woman there? Things are like this that we have to bring out. It's not just about to run this government. We need to put ourselves in the position to challenge the government, and even if more, to challenge our representatives. But we are not doing that more, because when the representative comes and they say, look, they are empowering people, they just give you X amount of money or recharge card, people clap and they go back. They think they've done, So if you are looking at this, we have to begin. Look, I tell you what, why do we keep Ministry of Tourism, Federal Ministry, the state, they have their tourism ministry. The federal government has their tourism ministry. They have NIPC, Nigeria Investment Promotion Council, Nigeria Export Promotion Council. And you have money going into all these MDA. And at the end of the day, we are not seeing the feedback. The feedback is, what have you done to even get this? If you can't do, we cut it off if you are not being productive. So those are the things we begin to challenge the government to do. And say, look, we have put you in there. You got so much money last year, and you want to get an increase. Why? Why do you want this increase? But until we begin to challenge them, otherwise someone will just continue to read this and say, okay, recurrent expenditure and all this. Most of the grammar we blow on these programs and elsewhere. the man, that's common man you said, doesn't even understand it. He doesn't understand what is recurrent expenditure. He doesn't understand. He just says that legislative aids, the man comes with about 4 policemen to his village and he said that is a senator. And he doesn't...
9 billion is being
yes, and that is it. And he doesn't even know. And the man comes and says, Rankadede, he gives him money, he leaves. Until when we begin to do grassroots political education as well, then people have to understand what these people are doing. That we need more grassroots political education to get to where we go.
Professor Fatunde, this particular budget, before it was passed, there was a lot of public engagement, consultation, and all of that. Do you think enough consultation and engagement of the public was made before the figures were arrived at?
Let's put it this way. The philosophy of a budget is very organic, and it depends on the outlook of those that are leading that country vis-a-vis the budget itself. If it is now an accepted philosophy that less than 4% of the budget will be devoted to solve the problem of 65 million Nigerians who cannot read and write, then it simply shows that that budget is a derailed budget. That's number one. Number two is that funding of that budget relies on 3 important sources: price of oil, borrowing money from external organizations. The West is not too keen in borrowing us money, but we rush to China. And then the PIB, Petroleum Industrial Bill. Now, if the budget is organic and we look very far how this budget can be implemented, and the sources of this budget are not within our control, we should start thinking of how we can have a budget that is within our control.